Good morning. I, much like John Vosbrink, I'm one of the younger fellows there. What? Is this thing on? Hey, no, but as I was growing up, my dad always said, you know, in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. And I was like, huh? I was young at the time, and then but something like that stayed with me, and then so like my whole life long, you know, you're working, you're doing, you're, you know, forging an existence, and you're like, yeah, you know, I got it pretty much figured out, and then all of a sudden, you know, you hit the electric fence a couple times, and you're like, there's got to be another way to kind of figure this out. And so I start, what I call is I adopt like the student mentality. I'm like, okay, Lord, okay, show me how to do this, right? Show me how to live. Show me how to conduct myself that's will keep me off the electric fence and produce a little bit of an income and be ultimately pleasing to God. And so I adopted this little student mentality. I'm like, okay, I'm the student. I'm not the victim anymore. I'm the student. Just show me. Give me a sign, right? And so one day I see Dan McKee, and he's like, "Hey, Pete." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't see you in men's fellowship." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Well, be there Saturday morning." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "There'll be food." And I said, "I'll be there." So I'm like, okay. You know, but as he's talking, though, in my head is really kind of going, oh, another church group, too good, too. I'm going to have to, you know, monkey with cymbals, just like I wasn't really hearing him. But then, you know, when you leave something like that, when you leave like a couple minutes, I call it the 20-minute later revelation of like 20 minutes later, usually, you could set my watch to it, it's the Lord saying, "Hey, Pete, that's a sign." You know, and I'm like, "No, that can't be what you mean." I said, "Show me a sign," you know. So I did go. I went to men's fellowship, and I've been gone to a bunch of them, and I'll tell you what, it's a great group of guys. It is a multitude of counselors. For me, you know, I always thought, church group, you know, they're for women. Women have church groups, you know. I'm like, not men. We're men. We hunt and gather, you know. So anyway, it is a multitude of counselors. I would like to say it's increased the quality of my life since I've been involved with these guys, and I'm sure it's kept me off the electric fence a couple times too. And so if you qualify as a student, basically if you're male and you can fog a mirror, you should come. You should come and just try it. You know. At least you get breakfast. So, I mean, anyway, it was time well spent, and if I call like a return on investment, you know, it's the return is greatly exceed my investment in time, and I thank you guys for the nucleus of the guys keeping it together, even though over the years sometimes things will drop off and it'll grow and swell, but it is a great group of guys, and it is a multitude of counselors. I really feel like protected or empowered and safe, you know, just knowing these guys. I've called some of these guys at work in the middle of the day because I'm like, I got some sort of issue, and I'm like, hey, you know, what do I need to do? And they're like, well, Pete, let's pray about it, and, you know, and I mean, they've helped me get through some stuff. So it's a good group of guys, and come get some breakfast and draw your own analogy or association. But I appreciate you guys.
Good morning. Good morning. I didn't say this in the first service, but everybody that got up here and talked about Men's Fellowship mentioned my name. What you don't seem to understand is my title is Sergeant at Arms. If I've invited you and you haven't shown up, I come to your house and drag you out of bed. And everybody I've done that to has come back. Now, I don't know if it's because they like it or they're afraid I'm going to come back and pick them up again. The other thing is, if you're late, Pete, drop and give me 10. But I'm not up here to talk about Men's Fellowship. They already took care of that. Jim Egan spoke about last year's mission trip. I'm going to talk about this year's. 3 weeks from yesterday, the senior youth group and 7 adults will be heading out to an Indian reservation in Eagle Butte, South Dakota. And we'll be living on an Indian reservation for a week. The reservation itself is about the size of Connecticut. What people don't know is that they're living like a third world country. A lot of people are living in cement block houses with no electricity, no running water. We're going out to help. They also have a ceremonial powwow circle that hasn't been used in 12 years, and we're going to repair it. So just to give you an idea, and I've met with a few people from Simply Smiles a couple times to give you an idea of our day, like Jim did. We'll be getting up in the morning for breakfast, and then we split up into 4 groups. From 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, we'll be doing repairs, whether it's a roof, a front porch, putting in windows, sheetrocking, whatever it takes. Break for lunch, and the afternoon we'll be spending with the kids at summer camp. We have kids that will teach dance. We have athletes from our youth group that will teach sports, and some that will do arts and crafts. And the thing that really struck me is these people don't believe we're coming. They've been promised so many things, and nobody's come through. We're going. Last fall, November I think it was, 3 of us were supposed to go out on a tour to see what we were going to do. They canceled it because the government shut down funds, and they didn't want us to go through 50 below zero temperatures. We're hoping to fix that. So the youth group has done a ton of fundraising because it's an expensive trip. I hope everybody has helped donate to that. Come out in 2 weeks for our junk in the trunk car wash food fest, whatever we're going to have. We had an adult prom where we earned about $4,000. We sent out letters. They're ready to go, and hopefully they're looking forward to us being there. So, thank you.